Welcome to the Voices of the LeanFeast.
All right, what up, guys? We're back with another episode of the Voices of LeanFeast, Feast Fighters podcast. We are in California this time. I got Law Dog with me.
What's up? What's up?
What's going on, man? And
the Law Dog, I forgot about that.
It's a Law Dog, dude. Luke is not with us. We left him behind out in the dirty South. And we have our guest today is Dave Musgrave from Kroga CrossFit.
That's me.
So I kind of want to tell the listeners what we're in right now.
Set the scene.
Yeah, we're going to set the scene.
Set the mood.
Can you turn me up a little bit, Bakes? You're good. So we are in a toy hauler trailer. This is like a bougie trailer. TVs and couches and
It's got a friggin'
stove, microwave, all that jazz.
Heater.
Sweet.
Heater. Are you saying turn the heater on because you're cold?
No. I'm just saying it has
You're from Arkansas. It's cold in
electric
Arkansas.
bed.
Electric beds, everything, man. Bathroom, you know. We
Beds
chose
that lower from the ceiling.
Yeah.
Futuristic.
Heck yeah.
Sets the mood.
But we were going to do it at your gym, and I kind of wanted to bring it to a different atmosphere where it was a little bit more,
Comfortable.
what do you call it, comfortable, and to me, okay, I'm lying. We didn't bring a table or chairs, so we didn't want to sit on the floor. But,
This is great.
this is comfortable.
I would rather be here than
I
sitting on a bench press bench in the gym. Because you know what, Baker?
What is
The
that?
gym is cold.
Oh, I
This
bet.
little
bet.
toy hauler will be much warmer
Oh, yeah.
than the gym.
You guys don't have heating and AC over there, huh?
Oh, we do.
Do you?
Don't tell anyone.
I won't.
We've never used it.
Good.
Wow.
Good.
Just tell them.
We have the heater at our
Suck it up.
we have our heater at the headquarters, and it was super cold one morning, and I'm like, Baker, turn on the heater. So he turned it on, and nothing happened. So I'm like, dude, what the hell? The heater's broken. So we called the landlord. Or no, we didn't call the landlord. Yeah, we called the landlord, and she said, call the heating company, have them come out and look at it. So they came out and looked at it, and the guy's like, you never turned the gas on.
Oh, my God.
So when I put it in my name, the building in my name, I never turned the gas on. And at that point, I was like,
well, you probably didn't think.
I didn't. I felt like an idiot, so I was like, screw it. We're not going to put the gas on. So I went. Baker went to, where'd you get that thing?
Lowe's.
Went to Lowe's and bought this little tiny heater. That was
Buddy
called
heater.
A buddy heater.
A buddy heater.
2
It's like a
propane
space.
tanks.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Little
Oh, dude.
propane.
Oh,
heater.
propane heater.
Yeah.
You put that
those
thing
things are
on.
the real.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
You put that thing on for 5 minutes, and the whole place just gets hot.
It
Yeah,
is.
that's no electric heater. That
No.
thing
Yeah.
It
is
pumps.
firing.
So
Yeah.
I refused to turn on the gas in our building, and that's
That
really
propane's cheaper.
yeah, absolutely. For an 8-pack, it was like what, $6?
Yeah, something like that.
A 4-pack was like $6.
And I think we don't, a lot of days you don't really have to even turn it on.
No.
It has to get like below 30 at night to turn it
Yeah.
on. Yeah.
And then what happened last week? I was doing daddy daycare, and I had the dogs with me, and my 5-month-old lab walked by the heater and sniffed it, and burnt off the whole right side of his whiskers.
That's amazing.
I felt so bad for him. Now he's all
Did he freak out?
you saw him. I didn't.
No, he did the whole shook his head and started licking the side of his face. I could tell he just touched something he didn't mean to, touch.
He has no whiskers on the
No.
right side of his mouth.
You could smell it. It was
That's classic.
scorched a little
Dude,
bit.
Murph, when we had a
Murph is your French
my
bulldog?
French bulldog, yeah. When we had a fireplace in the house we used to rent, he would sleep sitting up right in front of it, just literally like you know how you put like the cage or whatever in front of the fireplace? He would be like an inch from that, just sitting with his eyes closed, just snoring. Like for hours. Like he
liked
wouldn't
it
even
warm,
lay down.
dude.
It's because it would like get his chest and everything. It was ridiculous. And then if there wasn't that, if the heater was on, he would lay on top of the heating vent because it was
On the floor?
under the house. Yeah,
You should have brought
he would
Murph,
just lay
man.
on top of it. He would
Murph's
just
dope.
be snoring.
Oh, we love dogs.
You would just hear him the whole time. in
Murph
the
is so
background.
awesome. Do you still take him to the gym every day?
Yeah, he's such a bum.
He is.
best.
Are you guys gonna get another dog?
No.
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 That's all you need.
Well, not until we don't have Murph.
Yeah.
But
I love Murph.
the next one won't be.
How old is Murph?
He's about to be 7. So he's still got a ways.
Oh, yeah.
French Bulldog could probably be 12, 15, hopefully. Be pretty
17.
awesome.
Murph's awesome.
Yeah,
dude.
hopefully not 17.
Did you meet Murph when we went over there?
I don't know.
To his house?
He must have been there.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
think
see
he
why
was
he
there.
wouldn't be there.
Oh, was he in the back, Shannon? Yeah.
Oh, we probably put him out back.
How's
Being
the so I want to talk about the reason why I wanted to have you on the podcast is not just because we were on your podcast, but I have a couple questions for you, and we try to talk about entrepreneurship and creativeness and everything in this podcast, but it's not just about LeanFeast. It's kind of about our lives and everything that everybody else does. Technical difficulties over there, buddy?
Yes.
But I do have a couple questions for
I
you.
went to itch my ear in there. I found out that there was headphones on. I knocked them off my freaking head. Hopefully everyone will see that in video.
That would be good. So you own Kroga CrossFit, which is what, right next door to LeanFeast.
Two driveways
Two
away.
driveways away.
Yep.
How long have you guys had that gym?
6 weeks, I think. About 6 weeks will be 7 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a long time.
It's it's been a while.
How many
When I think back on it, I'm like, that's a long time.
how many members do you guys have?
Probably around 120 now.
Wow. That is
Yeah.
really good.
Yeah, for 7-8 classes a day, it's pretty good.
So you guys, what were you doing before Croga?
My job was construction management.
Mm-hmm.
That was my major in college, and I worked for a company in San Francisco doing what are called TIs, interiors. We'd build like super high-end offices for tech companies and law firms and you name it. If it costs a lot to build, we built it. Banks, like I built a handful of banks. It was a great job, but this is better.
What you went to college too, right?
Yeah, that was my major at Fresno State.
Fresno State?
Yeah.
Did you play with did you meet Colin Kaepernick over there?
No. No, he went to Reno.
Did he?
I
Yeah.
don't know.
He's from Fresno.
Yeah, but he went to University of Reno.
Are you sure?
Yeah, Nevada.
Can somebody fact check Dave?
Wolfpack, dude.
Are you sure?
He seems-
Positive.
He
Are you a
seems
football
pretty
fan?
confident, man.
Yeah.
He seems
What team do you
pretty
like?
confident.
Which
Well,
in what
NFL.
league? The NFL?
NFL.
The Niners. I went to the game this week.
You
Come on.
did?
Yeah.
Are you
I'm not going this coming week, but
did you watch
I
the
wanted to.
Did you watch the Clemson LSU game today?
I didn't see the ending. 'cause
Okay,
I
Dad.
was-
We recorded it, so we
Yeah.
can watch it when we
We haven't
got
seen
I
it.
any
only
of it.
watched till before halftime.
Damn
I
it,
stayed
Dave.
off social media.
I just got
I
fact
haven't
checked.
looked.
Yeah, that's fine.
Reno State.
I watched until maybe like 5 minutes before halftime, and at that point it was a good game. So I don't know what happened.
I'm ready to see it.
We don't
We
look.
haven't seen any. I've stayed
Yeah, I
off
mean,
social media.
We've
I'm
been
not
on-
ruining anything for you.
No, we've been on an.
I want it to
airplane
be a
all
good
day.
game. So
Yeah.
that's what I hope for.
First
anyways,
half.
you know.
Everything I've seen is good. I paused it, gave the kid a bath, and did the whole bed. Did some nutrition check-ins while Kelly read her some books. Did the whole bedtime routine, and then headed over here.
So you don't know. You're in the
I
same
have no
boat
clue.
as-
She
Okay.
asked me if she could watch the rest of the game without me.
Oh.
What was the answer?
I said yes. She's gonna be in bed by the time I get home, so I'll just watch it again.
That's awesome, man. So you went to Fresno State.
Yep.
Are you originally from here?
Yeah, I'm from Sunnyvale, so couple cities away.
Yeah. And then was that your first job out of college with the construction management?
Yeah, that was my. I didn't work for that company right out of college. I worked for another company that my dad worked for like 20-something years. He had been retired at that point, so then I started working there, and then I moved to San Francisco, worked for a new company, and then after that, we opened the gym.
Yeah. And then you just quit. I mean, that was your full-time job at that point, right?
I gave my I told my boss I was leaving, and then 2 weeks later, like 2 weeks notice or whatever, and then 2 weeks after that, the gym opened.
Wow.
Yeah,
And it's been open ever since.
yeah. It's
Do
been a whirlwind.
Did you think that you would be a business owner while you were in college?
I don't know if I thought about it much then, but ever since I was a kid, I thought I would own my own business.
Mm-hmm. Didn't know what it was.
No, I didn't know what I was gonna do. I always loved when I was like 10 years old. My parents gave me like $1,000, and I'd like traded stocks.
Bitcoin.
No, it was long before Bitcoin. But I've been like super into. My mom always worked for startups. When she was like working,
Mm-hmm.
she worked for this guy that's a venture capitalist, and he started like 40 something companies, and she was like his right hand woman. So she would do like, she would basically set up all the companies for him, like do all the payroll, do all the hiring, do all the blah blah blah, and then moved on, then replaced herself, and then move on, like answer the phones, like all that.
All
Stuff,
the grunt work.
all the grunt work. She would do all that and then go to another one and then go to another one. So she did that forever. And this guy was like an incredible guy to like just watch from afar. Freaking genius. Like worth who knows how much, but never acted. He drove a minivan every day.
Minivan.
Humble.
We just talked about people like that.
Yeah.
Super humble, super giving. Tons of money. You wouldn't know it on a daily basis, but if you went to his house at Pebble Beach, you'd know. Right? Like,
yeah.
there's
But
only
just
so
a
many
normal
people that live
guy.
there. Yeah, normal guy. Super smart. So I was always like, I don't know, I always looked up to him.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously growing up here, having your parents working, look, my dad worked for a construction company, but they built offices for all these tech companies too. So I don't know. I just always
It kind of embraced the culture here.
I just always wanted to do it, and since I was a kid, I always like considered myself a leader. Like I was in Boy Scouts. I was always like the one that was in charge. I was on teams. I was always the captain until like it got to the point where they just made the best player the captain.
Yeah.
But like everyone would still look to me like what to do.
You were
I wasn't the guy.
You were the guy.
Coin toss, but I was the guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I wasn't always the best player, but I was the guy that knew what was going on and would kind of run the team. So, to an extent.
Yeah.
So like, I think those things, just lend themselves to, this kind of job.
Yeah.
Like owning your own business, and but I never knew like what it was gonna be. I had like all kinds of crazy ideas for a long time, and then this one just kind of came about, and Kelly was into it, my wife, and
Were you into CrossFit and all that before you did
I
that?
started doing CrossFit my last year of college, the summer before my last year of college.
Mm-hmm.
So then I had to go back to school for one more year. I did it there all on my own, taught myself like pretty much everything by like watching. YouTube didn't even really, it existed, but like barely then. So if you could find videos of people doing CrossFit, you would just like have to download them and then watch them
Mm-hmm.
like on your computer, like on QuickTime or whatever. And then I just like completely immersed myself in it while I was there. There were 0 CrossFit gyms in Fresno. So I did every workout by myself in the rec center, and everyone thought I was psychotic.
I bet.
I was like snatching a bench press bar with metal 45s on it, and people would be like, what is this guy doing over here? And I didn't know what I was doing either. Like
You were trying to figure it out.
I was self-taught though too, no coach. So like, I'm sure it didn't look right at that time.
So for the people that listen to this podcast and that don't know, it's not normal to snatch a
bench press
bar.
There's Olympic lifting bars, and there's Olympic
plate,
lifting plates,
yeah,
and there's
bumper plates,
platforms,
yeah,
bumper
ropes, yeah.
plates, and
So it is completely different. You can't just go into a gym and snatch grab. Is that what they call it?
Yeah, just snatch grip.
Oh,
I
that's
guess you-
snatch-
I mean,
really
that's
I mean,
snatch
for
and grab.
argument's sake, I guess you can just go in there and do it. Now they'll get onto you. I bet at that
People
time they
at
were
that
probably
time
just
kn-
like, "What is this guy?" They didn't even
Yeah.
know. You
Yeah,
know?
now you'd probably get some flack for it, and they
Yeah,
would
'cause
like either
everybody
kick you
knows.
out or they'd tell you to like go to another part of the gym.
Or go to a CrossFit gym is what
Yeah.
they'll probably say. Yeah,
But
like,
back then, everyone just looked at me like this guy is literally out of his. I had a stopwatch that I would take.
I can
with me.
picture you in
Yeah.
a gym doing that with a stopwatch.
Dude, so much more jacked than everyone there too.
I
Because of
bet.
it. No, I'm just kidding.
I bet.
No, not.
How
not
old are
back
you?
Then. Now,
Yeah,
33.
you're pretty jacked right now.
I'm a lot more jacked than I was then.
Well, that's
Back
good.
then, I was like kind of like a fat college kid trying to get skinnier.
Snatching metal plates at a what gym was that at?
Fresno State Rec Center, dude.
Oh, the actual.
Yeah,
In-
the school gym.
Wow.
And you know who else? Here's Colin Kaepernick did not go there, but you know who else is from Fresno that I would see there all the time?
I know this, but
These two people, they're brothers. They did not go to Fresno State either, but they are from Fresno and they are well-known athletes. And they would go to the rec center all the time while I was there.
were they born and raised in Fresno?
Yes, and they were getting ready for the reason they were there is because they were getting ready for the draft in their sport of choice.
Who's this?
The Lopez brothers.
Lopez brothers.
Those like 7-footers that are both in the NBA. One's on the Nets. I don't know anymore, but they both went to Stanford.
Did they
They're
play
both over 7 feet.
Did they play overseas too? I think I know a. I think I might know a girl.
Brooke and I don't remember the other one's name.
Okay.
Lopez. They're both in the NBA for like whatever. They would be there like every day when I was there.
That's good.
I'd be like, these dudes are freaking huge.
7 feet is tall.
that is
Yep.
tough.
What are you?
Twins.
What
Mm.
did you know? I'm a twin.
No.
I'm a twin.
There you go.
Yeah, crazy. Well, how tall are you?
Identical?
No, fraternal.
Fraternal,
Okay.
yeah. I met him 6'3".
You're 6'3".
Yeah, this
Yeah,
dude
I'm
would look
6'1".
short next to them.
Shannon would look like a midget.
Yeah, how tall are you, Shannon?
5'9", 5'8".
Oh, you and I are the same height. Yeah. I'm short.
Shannon,
consider
you're like
myself
5'4", bro.
5'9".
He's sticking.
5'4", going on 5'9".
He's sticking to his guns, dude.
He is.
So good.
5'9".
all the rides still.
You can still ride all the rides?
Yeah.
Oh, good. That's okay. So so you kind of always knew, or you were kind of brought up in that atmosphere where you always knew that you were going to do something, and it wasn't just work for the man all the time.
Yes.
That's really, I mean, that's, and people ask me, and people ask some of the guys that, some of the other guys that we talk to and gals that we talk to. To me, I didn't know I was always going to do something. I'm not saying that LeanFeast kind of just fell into my lap. I mean, I worked for it, I created it, but I mean, and I always knew that me and my dad would always joke all the time, like, hey, well, let's open up a breakfast joint. You know, that's our thing. I mean, he makes, to this day, 60-something years old, 70-something years old. I don't even know how old my dad is, but he still makes the best French toast I've ever eaten in my entire life.
Like 20 feet away?
This is my
No.
in-laws' house.
Oh, I was like, dang it.
Dave,
I'm
get
gonna
on
come
some
over
French
tomorrow.
toast.
My wife just went on maternity leave. I'll bring her over here, knock on the door. Hey, I heard you make some legit French
They're-
toast.
well, the
and
right-
Eric told me to show up at 7.
they're actually in Merced.
Oh, that's good.
Which
to
is
know.
by
Send
Fresno.
me the address.
They're moving to Arkansas.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, we're building another house, and we built an in-law quarters for them.
Temporarily.
Well,
You said you're building another house, so.
we're in a house now, but we're in the process of building on a couple acres out there right now. We just got the slab poured.
Nice.
So framing should start this week, but my mom retires in April. She has 73 more days of work, and they're gonna move out there and live the good life.
That's pretty exciting.
Yeah.
I love that.
My dad's retired. My mom, she'll retire in April. So it's time for me to take care of them.
That's super cool.
Yeah. But what I was saying is, me and him always, we always said, hey, let's open up a restaurant. And it was always going to be a breakfast joint. So, it was in the back of my mind that I always wanted to do something, but never knew what it was going to do. And then I kind of just fell into the trap of, I didn't go to college. I went for like a semester, and it just wasn't for me. And I remember my dad saying, you just need to work hard. I mean, if you're not going to go to school, you need to figure it out. And that just wasn't for me.
I think too many people do go to college.
I agree.
Agreed.
We don't need to go down that path.
No.
But I think there's too many. There's too many people that try to make themselves go,
Mm-hmm.
or their parents insist that they go,
Mm-hmm.
and they probably shouldn't go until they figure out what they should really go for, or they just shouldn't go. Like, it's not. I tell people all the time, like, I own a freaking gym. My major is construction management. My original major was business. I transferred college twice, 2 different schools. So it took me 5 years. I ended up with 6 years worth of credits, and I don't do anything that has to do with that. And I probably should have stuck with my first major because it would have helped with my new job more than the other one.
But
and
do you feel like if you would have, and I'm not, we're not talking about this because we're telling people not to go to school.
No.
But do you feel like your schooling really got you nowhere?
No, I think the thing it taught me the most was how to work hard when the circumstances aren't really set up for you to succeed.
Yeah.
Meaning when I transferred the second time, I transferred from Colorado. I transferred to Cuesta, which is the community college in San Luis Obispo, because I was trying to go to Cal Poly and change to construction management. And my original major was business at University of Colorado in Boulder. So I transferred there. I was like, I'll go here for a year. I'll probably be able to get in. My grades weren't pretty good, but it's really hard to transfer into that school.
Mm-hmm.
So then from there, I decided to go to Fresno State instead of wait another year to try to go to Cal Poly. And when I got there, I was like, all right, this is year 4, and I still have 3 years of school credits left because I've changed majors and changed systems.
Right.
And I was like, screw it. And I don't want to go to college in the winter because I want to come home, and I don't want to go in the summer because I want to come home and work for that construction company.
Yeah.
So I took 18 units, which is 6 classes, one more than full time, but a lot of kids take 12.
Mm-hmm.
So I took 18, and then I took 21, and then I took 21, and then I took 18
I was like, Drew.
to graduate in 5 years. And every other semester in college, I took more than 15. So it wasn't like I was slacking before and I had to make up for it. It was just, I dug myself a hole.
Yep.
The deal with my parents was you get 4 years of school, but they saw that I was busting my ass. So they were like, okay, well, it doesn't cost anything to go to Fresno State or live there. So we'll pay for your 5th year, but you better get out.
Yeah.
And I did it. So taught me that. But I tell people all the time that in my first year in construction management, maybe 6 months, probably learned more than I learned in 5 years of college, at least that has to do with construction management.
Actually working it.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of lessons to learn in college, right? Most of them aren't anything that has to do with what makes you successful in your career.
Mm-hmm.
They all have to do with what makes you successful in life.
Right. And I think people ask me too, they're like, hey, did you go to culinary school, or, did you go here, or no, I went to high school. And I think looking back, now doing what I do, and we talked about this a while back, is nobody taught me how to do anything, right? I taught myself, and I taught myself via the internet. And it's a very powerful tool, and you need to be resourceful for what you use it for. And, we were joking about it one day. We were trying to add items to a Shopify account for our website.
Yeah.
And I don't know if we were just dumb that day, but it took us 3.5 hours and to figure it out. And it's like, if I was to ever go to school, it would be on, looking back now, it would be on how to do things like that.
Computers.
And maybe just not
Technology.
computers, but there's no schooling on how to open up a Shopify store. You know what I mean? So
No,
there's not.
No.
And I think if anything, it would probably be tax stuff or HR, but who the hell wants to go through all that? Not me.
and
you know?
I think that what you're going to, this is totally not what we were probably planning on talking about, but you'll probably see the education system evolve over time.
I agree.
Yeah.
It's always going to be lagging, even though they try to stay ahead,
Mhm.
right? And I also think that you will probably see sooner than later more kids electing not to go
Mm-hmm.
than, like, I think we've kind of hit that peak where it's like, if you have a heartbeat, you can go to college now,
Right. Right.
which is kind of embarrassing.
It is.
Because,
Sure.
like, our parents' generation, it was like a luxury.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
You're right. You're right.
And
100%
you
right.
only went if you were, like, smart, or you wanted a job, or, like, you thought you wanted a job that was, like, you couldn't get without it.
And I think when it was time for me to go to school, it was 1997, okay? And that's when like the internet really started to take off and .coms really started to become popular here. And so everybody was going to school like, "Oh, I'm going to be a big business owner for a .com. So I'm going to go get this degree or I'm going to go get this degree." But now there's so much that has evolved in the world and I would just and it's funny that we're talking about this because my son failed. He's 9. He just failed the branches of the government test, right? And obviously there's only 3. Okay?
Yeah.
But it was about the Constitution and a whole bunch of other stuff. And he failed the test. And I know that my son has ADD. So anyways, the lesson plan never got it did get sent home. Anyways, I had to download it. So I went to a website cuz I don't remember that.
No.
And you can
No.
Wikipedia stuff all day long, but I wanted the actual lesson plan. So I just went to teacherspayteachers.com, paid $8, and I got the entire same lesson plan as he got taught in school. And so we spent 4.5 hours at the kitchen table, and I taught him everything about the Constitution.
Which is amazing.
Right. And that's what I'm saying. Like that goes hand in hand with what we're saying is like it's going to become less because people they're given the outlet to do more themselves.
And you have, as you should in this day and age, you have the opportunity to teach yourself, if you'd like, the things that you're most interested in,
Yeah.
instead of being forced to learn things that
You don't want to learn.
yeah, or don't really matter for your
No,
future. I mean, there's things that you should know that
there is.
you probably don't care about, but that doesn't mean that the quantity
Right.
of things that you're forced to take.
Right. We always
Our
joke.
card.
We always joke about it in the office too. We're like, when the hell do you use fractions
Or geometry,
or,
really.
or geometry? Right. When do you use a fraction?
Tape measure.
Okay, we just had a huge battle on that.
That's the only time though.
Yeah.
You're 100% correct, and I still will never understand how to read a freaking tape
You know
measure.
what? You know what though? There's an easy solution to that.
You buy the one that has the marks on it already.
Metric system, bro.
True.
Everything's one.
That's
One.
it. We just did the remodel at the.
You don't need eighths when you got 1 millimeter.
That's true. Is that what it equates to?
It's a little bit less, but yeah,
I mean,
there's like 3 centimeters about in an inch. 3 centimeters is 30 millimeters. So you can imagine how small they get.
yep. I've never been able to read a tape measure.
Yeah.
Ever.
Well, you should move to Europe.
You'll be just fine over there. You go to Europe first day, stand back, boys.
I'm in construction now,
Watch
bro.
this. I'll show you what this says.
Oh, it's so good.
So awesome.
No, but what was I gonna say about that whole thing? It's like you get asked all the time, did you go to culinary school,
Mhm.
right? I got asked for a long time what my major was in college because I think people just assume like you need a major in kinesiology or exercise science to own a gym or know how to teach people. And I think that there's something to be said for that base level of knowledge. But I can tell you, matter of fact, that the amount of hours, thousands of hours that I've spent reading and watching video and listening and studying about the human body and coaching people and immersed in it is much more than any kid is getting
Through education.
in a 4-year degree or even their master's.
Mm-hmm.
Like they might be able to rattle off like every muscle and bone in the body faster than I can, but I can guarantee you they can't pinpoint what's going wrong with someone the
That
way that I can.
That kind of goes because we were talking. Baker's wife is in the PT program, That's right. She's in
Yeah.
She's in the PT
Correct.
program at University of Central Arkansas,
Yeah.
and right now she's going through clinicals.
Yeah.
And it's like, how she has to go to school for was it 3.5 years?
Yeah, her master's program, something like that, like 3 years.
But she already got a degree, right,
Kinesiology, yeah.
in kinesiology,
Mm-hmm.
and so
Or exercise science.
Yeah. Which
the
are
general
both
public.
good majors. Yeah.
right,
Pretty
and-
much like the same thing.
Just
It's-
each school calls it
Yeah,
different things. Yeah.
They went
Human
to exercise.
physiology, kinesiology, exercise
They
science.
changed
they're
it
all
at
like the
her
same.
school while they were there because it was too confusing for people.
Yeah.
Exercise science, yes.
so
Yeah.
that's what they're calling it now.
Yeah.
Kinesiology, yeah. They're calling it exercise science most of the time.
It's the
I
same.
just found out what kinesiology means. I did.
I know.
I'm not a very smart person. I work hard though.
I wouldn't go that
Everybody has
far.
their strong suits.
I mean,
I wouldn't go that
education-
far, Eric.
I got a lot of common sense, but I don't know.
I don't
But
think I
just-
really knew what it was until my obviously now wife went to school. Was like, I'm doing kinesiology.
study
Heck's
of
that?
movement, right?
It's like the heck is
Pretty
that?
much. Did I
You
get
know,
that
didn't
right?
know. Yeah, like something like the study of the movement, human body movement, or something like that.
Yeah.
Anyways, well, what I was going to say to that is that it goes hand in hand with what you're saying. I mean, you can have all the experience in the world, but then you take a 3-year master's course or whatever you call it,
Mhm.
and where is that going to get her? Right? It's going to get her the title.
She hated her first rotation. She felt bored.
See, she's way smarter than that.
She
But-
spends a lot of time doing what he does. But she was
my point
passionate.
exactly.
She's always been passionate about fitness and
Fitness.
human body and movement, and yeah. She's always studied that stuff.
Well, you can look at it in two different ways, and
Well, I don't think there's anything wrong with going to school
No.
with it
No,
for
no.
it, especially if you know that's what you want to do. Like, if I had known that I was going to own a CrossFit gym eventually, when I was looking at colleges, I probably would have been like, "Oh, my major should be exercise science," and the information I learned in those 4 years would have been useful.
mm-hmm.
Like, if you knew you were going to own a restaurant,
Culinary school would have
I probably would have got a business
business
degree.
degree, yeah,
yeah,
and doing what you're doing now.
and
yeah.
or maybe yeah, both, right?
Yeah.
Like maybe worked in a restaurant, in a kitchen, and
Yeah.
got a business degree, right? Like, but that's like Monday morning quarterback shit. It's
Right.
like
yeah.
you don't always know ahead of
No.
time that you're gonna be interested in something, and sometimes it's a little too fucking late
Yeah.
to like.
Most of the people I know, probably
To
the
do
same as
that.
you, had to change their major. That's this.
Yeah.
Most of the people I know in college, like, everybody went, and then it was like 2 years later, it's like, well, I'm not gonna do this.
And my
So,
original major was freaking entrepreneurship.
yeah,
I
it's
should have
like-
stuck with what I was doing, bro.
Is that even a?
It was-
is
It was business with a minor in entrepreneurial studies.
got it.
Yeah, they don't. Not every school has that, but Colorado does. And that's why, like, one of the main reasons I went.
Why
there.
you went there? Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
cool.
So let's fast forward. So you guys have had Kroga for 7 years.
Yep.
And you're still going strong.
Yeah. Great.
Did you guys recently expand a little bit?
No, the gym is still the same as it was day one.
Okay.
Like in terms of square footage.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, we do some different things now, additional things, but I guess we've expanded the business a little
Mhm.
bit. But
So you take the gym out. Do you, on the entrepreneur side, do you guys do you personally do anything other than the gym, or is that your main focus?
for work,
Yeah.
no, that's all I do.
So you guys have podcasts.
Yeah.
What is it called? Shout yourself out.
We have a. I have a podcast that's called the Lionhearted Podcast.
Mhm.
I recorded a ton of them with a buddy of mine that used to be one of my coaches that I've known for 10, 11 years. I
Mhm.
met him at CrossFit.
Danny, right?
Yeah, Danny Birdie, a long time ago. And then our schedules just stopped matching up because he worked somewhere else. We would do it like during my daughter's nap time, like on Wednesdays repeatedly. And then he had something pop up at that time. And then every other time he was available except at night, wouldn't really work. So then we just stopped for a little bit. And now I'm taking the reins by myself.
Good.
So we have that. The gym newsletter podcast that I was telling you about,
Yeah.
that's not that's really for our members. Like if you
Yeah.
listen to it and you're not one of
What
our
the
members,
hell are they talking
you
about?
will have no clue what's going on because we're just like talking about the people that go to the gym and
Yeah.
keeping them in the know. So yeah, we do that podcast. It's only 10 minutes a week. The other one's an hour. And and it's mostly CrossFit related.
Mhm.
The Lionhearted one. We interview people that are in the CrossFit world, that are of interest to us, or we just chat about like experiences that we've had as coaches, mentors, whatever you want to call it, business owners.
Mhm.
He doesn't own a business, but he's the manager of a location of a gym, a CrossFit gym that has multiple locations. So he doesn't own it, but he runs a full
Right.
location, all the staff, all that stuff. So we have very similar experiences there. We do CrossFit 7-8 times a day in our gym, so 7-8 hours. The morning, middle of the day, evening, or late morning, and then evening. We have
Seven to 8 classes a day is a lot for a CrossFit gym, is it not?
I don't think it's a lot for a gym of our age,
Gotcha.
but it is a lot. Yeah, I mean it's up there.
Because
We used to have another one.
because the CrossFit gyms out where we're from, I mean, they just do early morning a couple and then maybe 1 or 2 at night. Is that standard?
I'd probably say they probably have days out there during certain days of the week where they have up to 6-7 classes.
Okay.
But I bet you there's several days where they have like 4 maybe.
Mhm.
Yeah, we have 5 a.m., 6 a.m., 7 a.m., 9:30. That's only 3 days a week though, the 9:30. And then we have 3:30, 4:45, 5:30, and 6:30 every night. We used to have 7:30 as well. It just died for
Yeah.
no explainable reason. We had like a bunch of people that would come all the time. They all moved out of the area, and we didn't find anyone else that wanted to go that time, so we just shut it down for now. But 9:30 is new, and then 5 a.m. it's probably 2 years old, but we didn't have a 5 a.m. for like 5 years. And then we had a few people ask for it, so we started it 2 days a week. Then we had 3 days a week, then 4 days a week, 5 days a week, and it's like I had 10 people there this morning.
Are you still coaching?
Yeah, I coach like 8-10 hours a week.
That's good.
Yeah, out of like 50.
That's pretty good.
2 mornings, 1 afternoon, 1 evening.
Spread it out.
Yeah, so you have to spread it out. But I think
Yeah, when we opened the gym, we had even more classes than we have now, and I taught everyone for a year. I taught more than 2,000 hours of CrossFit in 1 year.
dang, dude.
That was your exercise.
That's
Yeah,
why
we
he's
used-
jacked.
Yeah.
No, we don't
explains
work
it.
out, but I was like you. I was chugging coffee like it was my job.
Still have to like
Yeah.
stand and move the whole time.
We had
though.
like 45 to 50 classes a week, and I taught every single one of them except a few that Kelly would help me with.
Yeah.
That was
Um,
hard.
I bet.
That was a hard year.
The one of the main reasons why I wanted to bring you on was, one, we're buddies. But I want people to know that you have been probably our biggest fan since day one at LeanFeast. And so
And you just moved in next to me. That was just luck. I don't
think
know if I would have even known what LeanFeast was if you didn't move in like
we still
a couple
get
doors down.
in that store, we still get 10 to 15 new customers a day, which
That's awesome.
which blows my mind. But you've been a fan of ours since day one, and so thank you for that.
Yeah.
You've always been a supporter, man. You always come in with an incredible attitude. You're kind of like, if you listen to one of the episodes with our buddy Dr. Fit, he's
That's
an
a good name.
Yeah,
It is.
yeah.
Catchy.
It is very catchy. He owns a high performance HIIT studio,
Functional training.
functional
studio.
training.
Yeah.
But he's a very, very intense man, and he from the time that his eyes open in the morning, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, bro. I mean, there's times where he's come in the store over there, and I have to walk away because too much energy.
Oh,
Is
dude.
this in Arkansas?
Yeah.
Okay.
I
One
just
morning he was in
I
there
was like, how have I never met this guy?
Oh,
no,
he's
you
hot.
guys would. Oh my gosh,
he was doing pistol squats in there one morning, like I don't know, 7:30 a.m.
in the store.
Guys like that like put me to shame though.
Just
Like,
pistol squatting.
I like have to turn it on when I go in there. I'm not always like in my car just like blasting EDM and like raging and then coming into LeanFeast ready to rage. I'm usually like feel horrible. I'm like chugging coffee to like stay alive. And then I'm like about to walk in the door, and I'm like, all right, here we go.
And it's game time.
Yeah.
You
But
gotta
this guy,
put the face on.
I had to tell him. I broke it to him down in the podcast, and I said, dude, there are some days that I can't even look in your direction because you have so much energy, and I can't match it. Like I used to be like that.
That's incredible.
I just cannot. And he looked at me and he's like, "Yep,
He
yep,
knows,
Yep,
dude.
I know."
Is that how he talks?
He's just,
Is he just like one of the, you know, those people?
dude.
that
He
have, like,
just goes.
they're on
He's,
another
he's smooth
level.
though. I mean, he's a salesman. He sold
Li-
pharmaceuticals for like 20 years.
His
or something.
episode will drop this week, but
Okay.
He's
Gotta
smooth.
listen to it.
but
Does he sleep a lot? You guys talk about
No,
that at all?
I don't think he does.
I don't
There's
think
no
so, man.
way because I get up very early and that dude is alive every morning already after I get up training. And
There's
then he's
some
live at
people-
like 7:38 at night. So I'm
Yeah,
like,
he's
no way.
he's on a whole nother level, bro.
like it's
I
like
don't-
4:30 in the morning. He's at the gym.
Some people are just wired different, bro. I can't do that. I gotta sleep a lot.
I don't
I gotta
sleep
rest.
for shit, but
I can go hard, but I gotta rest.
I'm the same. I
I
get up
rest
early.
hard,
I
too.
get up early, but like if I'm like going to bed and it's like 10:45, I'm like, there goes that getting up early and going
What,
to the
he-
gym.
j-
Like I'm not doing
Oh
it.
yeah,
Baker
I
goes
go
to bed in
before 10.
between like
8:30,
8:30,
9:30.
9, and
Oh, yeah,
I'm
that's pretty
like
early.
a 10 to 12 kind of guy.
But I'm getting up at like 5:15, so I want to get to
Yeah,
sleep.
you need to. Yeah.
And but the reason why I brought that up is because you would always come into LeanFeast just fucking full of piss and vinegar, dude. Like
Fired up.
just raring to go. And it was always such a. Do you remember one time this guy? You were there. This guy. Parking lot's empty. It's like 7:15 on a Saturday, and this dude's
Full
got
horn.
dude. This dude's got Murph his dog on the passenger seat. And what do you drive? What is it?
Then
It was a little white car, right?
it was the C-Max that day.
Okay,
The
so
Climax. That's
yeah.
what we like to call that car.
this
It can't
dude,
stand for anything else. Like, what would C-Max stand for?
That's it.
And how did no one at Ford go like, are you sure this is the right? All their other cars start with an E, and it's electric plug-in. It should be like an E-Max, but it's a C-Max. It's the Climax. That car's so tight it'll make you climax.
so
This
he
is
comes-
explicit podcast,
Yes,
right? Okay,
yes.
good.
So he comes freaking barreling in the parking lot, full horn. While he's parking, he's still driving on the horn while he parks directly in front of the store and just lays on the horn, gets out with no shirt on because he just came from the gym, pumped up, and he
Yeah.
just like swings the door open. He's like, "Good morning." And I looked at him. I'm like, bro, I have nothing to give you right now. Nothing to give you. But ever since that day, I knew that this guy, it was just a whole nother level.
Yeah.
And I can tell by the work that you do, the time and effort that you put into your daughter, into your wife, into your gym, into your business, into your body. I mean, you look fantastic.
Thank you.
At 33 years old, you look strong, you look healthy, you eat good. But I can just tell the type of person that you are, and that really resonated with me. And I think we've been buddies ever since. And we are working on a few things.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
want to talk about them on
No,
this.
it's fine.
But there are going to be things in the near future that we will partner with, and things that we work on. And that's really why I wanted to bring you on here, was just to give you praise a little bit and kind of hear your story. But you've always been an inspiration to me. So
I appreciate it. Yeah, I don't set out to be like that. Like I don't think of myself as like an inspiration.
you are.
But every once in a while someone will say something like my office manager the other day, I was like telling her how I need to work out in the morning when like my daughter and my wife are like still asleep, because
Mhm.
otherwise if I don't do it, I just won't do CrossFit because it just doesn't fit into my priority list at this moment in my life. So if I don't do it while they're asleep, then I won't do it. And she was like, really? Like, and I told her, like, I'll just hit the snooze, like I'll just turn my alarm off and be like,
That's
no,
what
I'm
I
not
do.
gonna go.
That's what I do.
And I'll just be like, I'll just ride the Peloton when she's napping later. Like I just don't feel like it right now. And I've done that like so many times over the last like 2 years, I guess, because my daughter's 2 years old. And she was like, really? She's like, you seem like the type of person that would never do that. She's like, you're like our like superhero. Like you would never just like hit your alarm off and not go to the gym if you said it right. And it was like every week. She was like,
No remorse.
no. She was like, no way. And I was like, I enjoy being asleep just as much as the rest of you.
I think
And I sleep really good. So like if I do that, I will go back to sleep immediately
Yeah.
most of the time for 2 more hours. Who knows?
Early's early, man. For everybody. I say
And
that all the time.
I used
Early
to-
is early.
I used to
It's a
get up.
choice. You got to choose it.
You got to get
Dude,
up.
I used to get up every single morning at 4:00 and go to the gym. And once I stepped into the role that I'm in now, these guys go home at 6:00. They come in at 7:30. They put in a long time and they go home at 6:00. But there's been many days where Baker's like, "All right, man, I'll see you later. You taking off?" I'm like, working until like 10 or 11. It's just, and then when I finally get home, I have to try to mimic the energy that I had at work into my home life. And I'm learning as a person, as a businessman, as an entrepreneur, as a leader, that there are things that I need to change, right? And I'm learning all of that. It takes a while for me. And Baker, I'm gonna give it to him. He works a lot of hours, but the dude's in the gym every day. I mean, the dude's shredded. You can't tell right now, but he's super vascular, 6-pack, 8-pack.
Leave me alone.
Just make sure that he's the artwork for this episode.
He'll probably be there.
That'll be you.
No.
I got your
Maybe we'll be able
headshot,
to work
dude.
out together.
Yeah, I mean, and
We'll
we would
take
we
we'll
would
take a
love that.
Post-workout pump photo for you.
We would love that.
I'm game.
Maybe tomorrow we'll talk about it. But
I'm game.
what I'm saying is I need to be more like that so I can relate to you. Being a business owner is not easy.
No.
It's not easy. It's a lot of putting out fires.
It's a lot of, and I think that it's a lot of like figuring, and this comes with time, right? I'm still not a pro at it. And the more I add to my plate, the harder it gets. But prioritizing is like so freaking hard. And choosing what to put your energy into is like so difficult. And
It's
so-
exhausting.
Oh, yeah.
It's 100% exhausting.
And it actually takes a lot of discipline and a lot of energy. I don't want to call it energy, but
Effort.
Yeah, to tell people no.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's something else that's more important.
Yeah.
And like for me, it's like wife and daughter, then the gym, then my other ventures that I'm like working on,
Mm-hmm.
then usually my friends or my own fun,
Mm-hmm.
and then my like hobbies. So like in 7 years, the number of times I've like told friends and whatever, family even, like, no, I won't be there. Like, I'm not going to do that.
Sound
and I'm
familiar?
Not coming.
It does sound very familiar.
And
I have to do that a lot.
But then it's like you just have to make sure that those things are not too high of priorities for them, and you ruin that relationship. Like, I'm not gonna say no to my nephew's birthday,
Right.
Like
but
a
I am
wedding
gonna
or-
say
Yeah.
I am gonna say no to like my sister if she says, you want to come up here, like they live in Oakland, you want to come up and go to the park, like go to the zoo.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, that's gonna be like 5 hours. Like, I mean, I do, but not unless it's like Declan's birthday,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
Like,
And we're seeing that too, and
Yeah.
I think we're changing a lot of that. Like, I know that my trip this week is we're actually going to Facebook. So
yeah,
we're-
you told me that.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
yeah, we're doing a pop-up event Wednesday and Thursday in Menlo Park.
That's really cool.
They asked us to go to Fremont, their location. So we're working on that this week, but I have to fly home on Friday because I promised my family that we would go to the cabin.
Yeah.
And
Love
I'm
it.
going to be there until Sunday. And that really, for me, just to step away and say, I'm going to turn my phone off for 2 days. What the hell was that?
I think it was your
I
phone.
think it was your phone.
For me to turn that off for just 2 days, it's going to mean a lot to my family.
Yeah.
And it's going to allow me to refresh.
Oh, you'll feel amazing after that.
Yeah, I think so.
It's that's one of those tough things where it's just like, it's not addicting, but it's like it's always on your mind.
I'm 100% addicted to my job.
And there's no way to get rid of it though if you're actually in it,
Right.
like the way that you should be.
Right.
If you're like half in, it's gonna fail.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can be like half in when you're like working on it before it starts,
Mm-hmm.
but as soon as it's going, you
Full
gotta
bore.
be you gotta be all in.
And a lot of
Otherwise,
people
you're out.
A lot of people don't understand that, and I think it's easy to work for somebody and be half in, obviously. But if you are the person making the decisions, you have to give it 110%.
Well, nothing gets done.
By themselves.
No, yeah, that. I mean, you can lean on employees to do
Mhm.
things, which I think is super important.
Yeah.
But their job is to do what their job is. It's not to like think of what we're gonna do next and make sure that like there's money set aside, like that you're planning ahead for. Like all the foresight stuff takes a lot of time too.
Yeah.
And I think that that's one thing that gets forgotten about a lot by people that want to own their own business. They get like too stuck in the weeds and they don't realize that like you can't just do that all day long. Otherwise you're never going to get anywhere
Mm-hmm.
because you got to be looking where you're going too, right?
Yep. Exactly.
And the hard part about that is like usually you got in the business because you like doing the business.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're the owner, your job is to not be in the business and to be guiding the business.
Still in the business. Yeah.
Steering the business,
Yeah.
not like paddling.
Mm-hmm.
But you got to paddle every once in a while.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you don't know what's going on.
That's it.
And that's the hard part. You're steering the boat, but every once in a while you got to go paddle. Otherwise, like you asked me how many hours I coach now. And like I feel like I don't coach enough at this point, but there's higher priorities.
Right.
My daughter's a higher priority. Getting our coaches enough hours that they can afford to live here is a higher priority than me enjoying coaching CrossFit. I mean, that's why we started the business.
Yeah.
Because I love CrossFit, but it's not part of the role right now.
Yeah.
So
I couldn't agree with you more, man. And that's the nature of the beast. That's what they call it, right?
yeah,
It's just the nature of the beast. And I think a lot of these guys are seeing it. That as we grow, our companies are growing. I'm going to say our companies now just because we have 7 of them.
it's evolving.
It's not just
growing,
LeanFeast,
it's becoming
so
a little more complicated.
Yeah, a little bit. Awesome, man. Well, thanks for coming on. And I love your energy, man.
Well, thanks for having me.
And I look forward to working with you in the near future. And like I said, we'll talk about it. Hopefully, we'll be talking about it maybe in the next couple months on here. Who knows?
I would. I'm always happy to sit down with you and chat, and I would be. I'd feel terrible if I didn't say that you also inspire me with your hard work and
Thanks,
effort, man. And I think that the vision of LeanFeast, I've told this to you before, but it's like, it has infinite possibilities, or it has the possibility to grow exponentially
Mm-hmm.
and to help way more people than people even understand.
Yeah.
A lot of people are like, oh yeah, it's like clean eating, like, oh yeah, whatever. But like the potential reach and the health benefits alone, for every person that you can get to walk in that door are like astounding. And I think that that's the thing about it that most people don't even think about.
Right.
They just think about like, oh, this is a restaurant.
The
and, like,
convenience.
it's all about like making money. And I'm like, you obviously don't get it. Like, It has to make money
Right.
because it has to grow, because it has to help more people. And that's what the thing that I always stress about our gym is like, this isn't a freaking charity, because if it doesn't make money, it can't help more people.
Right.
It needs to get bigger so it can help more people. And that's the same thing I think that's why I love LeanFeast so much. And that's why I'm such a big fan, is like it's important that it grows.
Mm-hmm.
It's super important that it grows because it will help more people.
Right.
And,
That's the
that's
goal.
the eat better, right?
That's the eat better.
That's it.
That's the goal.
Yeah. It doesn't have to taste like crap,
Nope.
and you can feel a lot better and look a lot better and
That's it.
live a lot longer, and we can pay a hell of a lot less health insurance.
Exactly. Exactly.
Amen.
So let's keep
All
it
right,
going.
man. Yeah, for sure. Well, thanks for being on the podcast. Baker, got anything?
Nope, I'm out.
The Law Dog's out.
I'm out.
Dave,
Thanks for your time.
thank you, buddy. We
Yeah.
appreciate you being
Nice shoes, Law Dog.
Thank you, sir.
I was
Hey,
looking for a place to compliment you this whole episode on those
here.
shoes.
Are you wearing No Bull too?
No, I'm wearing Nikes right now, but
All right.
I do. I've been looking at high top no bulls for years. I just never pulled them.
Man, they just put some black ones out with the crazy.
Stop. We gotta go.
Okay.
We love
Peace.
you, man.
Yeah.
Peace.
Peace out.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the Feast Fighter podcast. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel at LeanFeast, Instagram at Lean_Feast, Facebook and Twitter at The LeanFeast. Find more voices of LeanFeast on iOS, Google Play, iTunes, and Spotify.